Hello, City. Hello, world, and welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection here at KTYM. And we're bringing it to you also live, KTYM Media. When you get there, click on TV and join our family. My name is D Nice, and I'm here with the one half of the team, with the other half of the team right here, Sister Herron. And let me tell you something. We're going to get into a little bit of what's on my heart and what's weighing on her heart. But first, I want to tell you a little something that's going on to celebrate those that knew Norman E. Hutchins. And he brought a lot to the table as a minister, as an artist, and he is still remembered to this day. They have an event honoring him. It's going to be hosted by KJLH's own Spread the Word man, Andre Russell. We all know him. And it's going to be brought to you with the help of Nicholas Miller, Melvin Williams, Bishop Neil Robertson, Pastor Terrence Taylor. You also have the Trilogy Group with Kareen White. You have Donald Ashley. We have Marcus Williams along with Kiera Brand and Kenneth Cartwright. Boy, I'm going to be star-studded here. Ketra Williams, Kimberly Johnson, Loretta Davis, Darius Maxey, and Roman Collins. This is going to take place this Friday, June the 5th at 7 p.m. And you're going to get it at Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church at 425 South La Brea Avenue in the beautiful city of Inglewood. So if you're interested in tickets while they still last, you can reach out to 310-528-2550. And that is presented by Dr. Karen Hutchins, the wife. So I'd like to put out a thank you to my brother Chris Miller and also Mr. Wania Lyles. They're listening. Hey, and we are about to get into some real talk. This young lady has been a fixture here at KTYM, where she brought in the show Gang Talk. When gangs were running rampant in our city and tearing up our city, she stepped up and decided, not in my city. And she brought solutions, not just questions, on how to undertake that, to mitigate it, and to turn the situation for the good. Ladies and gentlemen, listeners around the world, help me welcome my sister, the Queen, Sister Herron. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for that kind introduction, and I'm so happy and honored to be here with you. I'm fine.
Great. Now, we have a lot to get into because, like, going back on a journey, every step you make in your life is a journey.
Yes.
Starting with a step.
Yes.
And we're going to go back to your early steps and find out what are the things that promoted you, that brought you to the point to where you said, enough is enough.
Oh my God, that goes back to 87, people. All right, it caught my attention in 87 and got me active by 88. And that was the killing of a 15-year-old across the street from our home. And the cowards hid from my neighbor's porch to shoot at him and two 18-year-olds that were in the park with him. And to their youth, they were in the park smoking sherm. And I don't know to this day what motivated his killing, but that 15-year-old was living around the corner from us with his grandmother because at that moment his mother was in jail. Okay, so he was kind of an outcast at 15 already. And it caught my attention because they killed him. They wounded the two 18-year-olds, but they came to kill the 15-year-old. And the following year was when Jimmy Finney was killed in a terrible gangland ambush where they were chasing a red car. They were looking, that was in the years when if they couldn't find you that had wronged them, they went after your family. So there was an active search for a red car because they were looking for the perpetrator's family. And they caught believing that this 18-year-old was his sister. Okay, so they blocked them in like Chicago gangsters and blocked them in the front and the back, then got out and bullet-riddled that car, which killed that 13-year-old passenger. Well, it turns out that 13-year-old passenger was a friend to one of our children. And that immediate grief and anger turned that child to where they became an advocate for our block. And I noticed that our block had been recruiting all of their male friends, as early as 13 years old. And that child became so angry and hostile that I worried about them for the next 6 years, junior high school and high school, because in high school they buried so many of their friends. Right. It's like every day that child's coming home from school angry and enraged, and there was nothing I could do that would appease them. It's like murder is the name of the game. I'm in the arena, and what are you going to do? It's like, well, I'm going to have to do something. So when it caught my attention, I joined the mothers. That's what people don't understand about my history. I saw our mothers crying, marching in the street. It's like trying to get our attention, and nobody was listening to them. That's where I joined. I joined through the mother's grief. So I've been back. Ladies of the 80s, that's what I call us. Jimmy Finney's mother, Charlotte Austin Jordan, Vicki Lindsay out of Compton, Project Cry No More, Lorna Hawkins out of Compton. It's actually Lorna had started a PBS public service when Continental Cable or whatever the cable company was had public access in those years. And Lorna actually had a public service show where she interviewed families of murdered kids. And she was doing that and caught my attention until her second child was murdered. I can't tell you how many families, mothers I know that have sacrificed more than one child. Okay, and they're in a very particular arena that nobody seems to understand. You kill one of my children, that's bad. That's going to hurt me for life. But you kill a second child of mine, where did I put my anger? Where did I put my anger? And God intervened with those mothers and turned that anger into assistance. And we just said our goodbyes to one of the greatest ones. Vicki Lindsay was an excellent advocate for Project Cry No More, and she had a license to operate from Compton to Inglewood, from San Pedro to the 10 freeway. And it's like, I want to be with you. We have the power to change this. Mothers have the power to change this. And that's where I joined. And the sad thing, as I said before, nobody was listening to us. We're crying on the corners. The press is all in our face. What do you want? Well, we want the violence to end. We want to stop burying our children. And that was a mighty motivation to get involved. It's just, my own children at risk. That child at 13 that turned instantly at 13 and told me, I'm not wearing that color. Okay, and you go to school every day, a walking target. So when I get the robocall from the school that says you didn't come to homeroom, flares went off. Is she dead? Are they dead? Did they get to school? You see, so these kind of questions for a parent that didn't know better.
Right.
This was a new thing, and it's like, well, I have to come out and get involved in this. I have to find people that are actively working against this. So that's how I joined the mothers. We marched all around the city, every community, with churches and the community and law enforcement. We marched so much that it became like a wasted effort, really, because nobody was listening to us. Nobody wanted to hear it. And I'm going to say something that's going to shock some people, and I don't mean any disrespect, but one of the first to leave us was the church. They found it like we're going around doing this and we're not making any progress here. Let's go back to our sanctuary and just teach it from there. And so it was, I had a high-ranking African-American police officer, high-ranking, tell me, well, you know, sister, if you win this war, I could lose my job.
Oh, wow.
That's the same thing I said. Oh, wow. And we were out there at that moment marching for a young man that had been killed on the freeway coming home from Dominguez. He was in college, and they chased him down on the Harbor Freeway and shot him on the Harbor Freeway where he died. So that day I was standing with his grieving father, heartbroken. That's my only son. I raised him to the best of my ability. For a stranger to kill him like that. To have this officer tell me, if you win this war, I could lose my job.
Well, let me ask you, okay, so at a time when you decided to bring the mothers together.
Oh, I didn't decide. I joined the mothers.
But then some of the police, you were able to get involved. What was happening to our local politicians?
Well, that's the funny thing.
Okay.
They did not want to touch it at all. They didn't want to be involved. I couldn't get any help. And that's 3 council districts. I went to 3 different council people and asked them, what can we do? And they turned a blind eye to me.
In the mayor's office?
Well, the mayor wasn't affected.
Okay.
And so they were disconnected from the what I call the square. We live in what I call the square, south of the 10, east of the 405, the 710,
right,
and then the 105 on the south. So that's a square that outsiders can drive around our neighborhood and never get off the freeway. So that was the kind of reception we were getting from the politicians. We're not in the area.
Right.
We don't have anything to do with it. It's your problem.
Right.
Okay? Now, the problem is the government, what the government did to us to cause that problem. See, that's what people want to talk about. But the drugs that came into our poverty for a purpose.
Got you.
Okay? It came into us for a purpose. And that was because the Panthers had the audacity to pick up those high-powered weapons, stand on the Capitol steps, on the papers of their Constitution that says we have a right to bear arms too.
That's right.
Okay?
Right.
So when the Panthers took that bold move that Malcolm said, by any means necessary, we're going to save ourselves, that frightened this country. It scared them so much. It's black people with guns. Oh, no, we can't have that.
Right.
So what we're going to do, we're going to give you the means where you can use those guns on yourself.
That part.
Okay, that part. You can, and we're going to supply those guns because you have to talk to an OG to tell you how they got all those guns. They came in by train. I had OGs that tell me, no, we went to Arizona to the gun shows, loaded up our trunks.
Right.
Okay, and then we met gun sellers down on Crenshaw and Slauson with a trunk full of guns. So we could get a gun. Gun was the easiest thing to get.
Exactly.
Okay, and see, it was a means to an end. You're going to be killing each other. You won't be looking at us.
Exactly.
You see, so that was the shame of it, that us not knowing, they dropped that on our poverty. And what we didn't understand is the addiction that's paying you. It's the addiction that's paying that car note for you.
Right.
It's the addiction that's paying your house note too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You see, so some of those addicted are homeless now.
Mm-hmm.
It destroyed lives. It destroyed neighborhoods. And see, because that's how it spread when it took the mother out of the home.
Mm-hmm.
The addiction took the mother out of the home. And I had former drug dealers tell me, well, my mom ain't going to be working the street in somebody else's neighborhood. I'll buy those drugs and keep her at home. You see, then it became a territorial thing.
Gotcha.
This is my area. You sell in your neighborhood, I sell in my neighborhood. And then it became an active war about the money and the power. You see, and that's how it grew. But it's the addiction that drove the growth.
But the proportion of it that propelled it to different levels is the ones that did have the responsibility to see what was going on and help with it, i.e. some of the police at that time that were going into different neighborhoods, dressed different colors and shooting up and keeping things alive.
No. See, I grew up with Daryl Gates.
Okay.
All right. And Gates worked with Chief Parker.
Okay.
And Daryl Gates is the one that came up with the idea of SWAT. And SWAT went after Black Panthers in Los Angeles. I was here when SWAT burned that house that the SLA was in, Timothy's Liberation Army was in, because that's the group that kidnapped Patty Hearst.
Right.
Okay, and they got her to do things that she wouldn't normally do. So they had a death sentence on them, death on sight. So they had them cornered in that house. They set that house on fire and burned up everybody that was inside. That's how cold the police were.
Right.
Okay, and I've said this many times. They put the worst police officer to try to fix this when he had a hatred for us, and actively working against us as a people. And I just asked him one time, so you think you're going to arrest your way out of this?
Right.
When they weren't even looking. They weren't even looking. They didn't care. You go ahead and kill each other. Kill yourself. We just send the coroner, take you to the morgue, then take you to the funeral home, wash our hands of it until the next time. Because I actually did a documentary years ago where I talked very candidly about this, South Bureau homicide, and it's actually on YouTube. And I worked very closely with the police because we had to. We couldn't have them killing us and we out here trying to work for peace.
Right.
So we had to force them to recognize that we're here with a serious purpose and we're not leaving until we accomplish something. So we had to push up against them. So did I have any friends in blue? Only one. That was Kenny Garner. Okay, and Kenny was one of the first African Americans that became high-ranking police officer. He became the chief of South Bureau, which was a hub for all the neighborhoods. And Kenny worked with us, and as we talked to him about dirty cops, he tells us, well, tell us about your dirty neighbors. It's a fair exchange. You want us to straighten up? Well, we want the killers out of your neighborhood. You gonna help us? You see, so he was very confrontational that way.
Right.
I understand I got some bad actors on my side, but look at the actors on your side. You gonna help us with that? See, so he became the man of reason. Okay, that we worked together, and Kenny liked to show off. Not in a bad way.
Right.
But if he arrested your gang, he'd like to let you see them in the courtyard handcuffed to let you know that, hey, I'm working this plan. Well, that actually started for me with the police when James Miller came out. Original. He was the original police chief at South Bureau. He came out in January and announced, and Charlotte Austin Jordan was standing next to him. He announced that we've had 45 homicides. It's only 15 days into January. So I actually started reading the homicide report to follow up, and we were losing like 3 a month. one a week.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of numbers like that where black men were dying in the thousands in those years, and we were the perpetrators. We're killing ourselves. It's
Right.
like, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
But what is going on? And it was the drugs and the drug addiction. And this is how I had to tell the friends of our children, hey, look, you get in that business, you can't come to this house anymore. You are not safe to come on our porch anymore. See, because of one thing about it, you got three things working against you. Being addicted, the one who's addicted that wants your money, and the drug dealer you owe money to. Okay? So
Right.
you got three things too right there, and then the fourth one is the police. Because the joke is, the police arrest you, they lock you up for like 5 years, let your homie come in and take your place. It was a rotation kind of thing. They keep you for 5 years, let your homie take your place, let him come up, then they come and get him and let you come back. And the joke on the homies that didn't understand, they don't take all your money, they don't take they gonna take your car, you're gonna pay your jewelry to your lawyer, and you still going to prison.
Right.
You're still going to prison, but you're gonna be broke when you go in, and you're gonna be broke when you come out. See, so it got to be like a treadmill, a joke on us. And the funny thing is, these guys thought they were so immune that they could drive around South LA in that bad car and the police wouldn't notice them.
Right.
No, they came for you. They want to know how you got the money to buy that car. You don't look like you working. Show me a paycheck.
Right.
Yeah. Show me a pay stub. Something. Show me how you get your money to buy that car. See, so they started collecting them just by identifying their car, riding down Crenshaw, in the middle of the day, riding down Manchester, riding anywhere in Inglewood. That's how they started plucking them out.
Now, I know our listeners are listening, and enthused at what you're telling us, and overwhelmed because a lot of people don't know the history. But as we look at it here in the 26th year, 2026, what changes have you seen what came out of what you guys started?
Actually, I was a proud founding member of Southern California Ceasefire Committee, which started at Bethel on 79th, thanks to Pastor Lewis Logan, because they were actually going after the police then for killing that 13-year-old that had taken his mom's car at 4 o'clock in the morning. He was joyriding in it when the officer shot and killed him in that car, and he was 13. So Pastor Logan started that community involvement against the police, and a part of that became, our side. Okay, we're going after the police, but what are we going to do about ourselves?
Gotcha.
And so that was an issue that I ran to, because that's what I was looking for, because when 16-year-old Delisha Allen was killed in front of Locke High School. Okay, she was not the target, she was talking to the target. Cute little young man that she had an eye for when she died, because the killer ran up shooting and shot her, shot and killed her. And her family came to us. I was doing forums in Leimert Park in those years, because of Jamil Shaw, a high school football player that was up and coming, and he had been targeted. Jamil Shaw had been targeted. He wasn't an accident, he was targeted. And we know that shooter had stayed on his block all day waiting for him to come home. Okay. Because he had been ordered to kill Jamil Shaw, to set him as an example. And so we had somebody that I used to respect come. Well, he was nothing but a gang member anyway. He had red on his belt. And it's like, excuse me, you mean that young man that was protected by the gang in his neighborhood the same way the Williams sisters were protected to play tennis in Compton? Gotcha. So now you're going to identify him as a gang member because he was protected. You see, and so those are the kind of things that kind of infiltrated, try to tear us down and split us and divide us, but we were determined to stay on focus.
You're right. Okay. So from there to now, In these last few minutes that we have,
Okay.
about a minute to, what difference, what change, and what do we need to go from this point forward?
We need to follow the lead that was started with the killing of Nipsey Hussle.
Mm.
Okay, because that was a major event, unnecessary killing for a young man really trying to come back from the gang nightmare and establish and make a difference and become an example and a role model. When you kill our role models,
Right.
you see, and so the community came out in massive support. And the funny thing about that night, I listened to the reporters on the news trying to make fun of the crowd, looking for the fight to start.
Right.
They were instigating, oh, well, look at all these people out here for this gang member, you know, and talking like that. It's like, look, we don't need you to add to our problem.
Exactly.
But the killing of Nipsey brought the hoods together to mediate some kind of peace.
Okay.
Everybody didn't come to the table, but the beauty about the ones that didn't come to the table,
Right.
well, now you put the spotlight on you.
Exactly.
We don't have to go after everybody else. We can just concentrate on you.
Exactly.
So it started to reduce the murder. It started to reduce the murder in ways that we could see. And the shame is that he had to sacrifice his life for us to wake up.
To that, and that's been a shame because that's been the trilogy of our community, the black community. There's always somebody's shoulder we stand on, and there's always somebody that gets taken out ahead of time.
Dr. King and Malcolm X. Come on.
You know,
they were the yin and yang of the movement, and we knew they was going to kill Malcolm.
It goes on and
we
on.
Knew it.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do each and every week. We just, she says part one. There's more to come. But thank you for listening. Tell a friend, KTYM.media, and then click on TV each and every week. This is D Nice along with Sister Herron saying, hey, put God first.
Yes.
And everything else will follow. I guarantee it.
Yes.
See you next week.
All right. Man, you let me do a lot of talking that time.
Yeah. So that's okay. Because that could have, like I said, that's a situation that can go on. I mean, that's a conversation that could have gone on. Whoa, wait.
It needs to go on because the young people have to understand the nightmare we
the
went
history.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why they came up in foster care.
Exactly.
Okay, why their parents went to prison, why there was addiction in the house that drove them out to join the family gang in the street. I had a girl tell me at 14, that's when she went out in the street because it was crack all over her house, and she just couldn't stand to be there. She couldn't stand to be there, so.
No, I mean, you know, there's so much here that kids don't understand, but it's like, how can you have them learn where they're going unless they know where they came from?
Yeah, you got to tell them the truth.
That's exactly.
See, that's what the truth makes us free. It doesn't just set us free, it makes us free.
That's true.
And if you understand that was a deliberate act, then why would you go and support it?
Yeah.
And the whole point was to kill the men in the baby making age.
Right.
They was trying to commit genocide against us. See, now if you tell them that truth, they were trying to kill you to commit genocide against us as a people.
That's exactly.
Okay.
And we talked about
Don't ask me, I won't tell.
No, we talked about some things today.
Man.
Yeah.